been in a situation where you've been told that your work is not critical enough, or your work is too descriptive, or you may have not scored as good of marks as you would have imagined just because your work lacked in critical analysis? Well, if you ever have faced these kind of situations, no matter if you are studying in your undergraduate, your master's, or even for your PhD, this video is for you, because in this video, I'm going to talk about a step-by-step process which is definitely going to help you to write critically. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, this is Dr. Samreen. I'm an academic in the UK and I'm making these videos on how to work smart, productivity, and also how international students can really pursue their journey in a foreign country for their education. Before I begin my video, just so that you know, I have made another video on critical thinking / writing, which should be really a good kind of a premise for this video. So if you have not yet watched that video, you can click somewhere here on the screen to watch that video, and ultimately this video would help you even more. Let's dive into it. Well, in the previous video, I've kind of introduced the whole topic of critical thinking, critical writing. Why does it happen that we are not able to think critically? Because we are not really encouraged early on in our life to question things, to deepen an understanding. In the previous video, I also spoke about step-by-step process to improve our ability to think critically and ultimately reflect in our writing. But this video, I'm really focusing on how you can write your essay more critically, your assignment, your dissertation, because trust me, I know the pain when you are not able to crack that critical analysis for your work. Step number 1. Well, as I've been saying already, in order to write critically, even to think critically, you've got to really read. I mean, there's no shortcut to it. You need to read relevant work. You need to understand the topic really well, or perhaps not really that well, as you can learn about it more when you write. But it's very important for you to read from different sources just to gain understanding of the topic. And also, while you're reading your work, preview the work. Think about how this work is going to be laid out, and few things you can do to improve that, or perhaps to help yourself in doing that. Number 1, when you read an article, always make your notes. Now, I cannot focus enough on the fact that how much is important for you to take notes. I'm not saying here write pages and pages. You can simply write 1 or 2 lines for each paragraph, let's say. For example, if you're reading this article which has 3 or 4 pages, you can write 1-2 line summary for each paragraph, so that when you come back to this article, you understand what they were really saying. Or perhaps you can simply open a Word document and just write your own summary after reading your article, so that you know that what this article is really trying to tell you. When you're reading different people's work, always try to group all the similar work together. So for example, if you find 5 studies which are suggesting that productive people are happier people, and 5 studies are suggesting that productive people are not happier people, just group them all together. Because when you group them all together, when you group all the similar studies together, what it really helps you to do, once you start writing your work, you can provide all the relevant references, and then you can also critique to say, these people are saying this, however, other people are not agreeing with that. And this is your compare and contrast, taking from the last video. And if you do that, it's easier for you to present your own commentary. This is a little small tip which I, till date, do, is when you're reading your articles, when you're reading it online or if you're reading it offline, always try to annotate your articles. What I do normally, I would use highlighters. I love colors. So I use highlighters where I would just highlight all the similar comments or similar points with one color. So that I know that if I read the article back, I know all the greens are saying the same thing, all the yellows, all the blues, reds and whatnot. The final point in this first section of critical writing, where you're still previewing your work, is that when you're reading an article, and any article which you find really interesting, try to imitate their writing style. See how they're written, how they've constructed one argument over the other. Because by doing that, it can really help you to improve not only your skill, but also your work. You have kind of previewed the work. Now, step number 2 is, at this point, you have to lay out the structure of your work. Well, I find it extremely helpful because once you have divided your document into various sections and subsections, you can simply put relevant information under these sections. It just helps you to think more structurally and also to present your work in a better manner. Step number 3. Once you have identified similar work in nature, perhaps if they are agreeing or disagreeing, at this point, you should start writing in your own words. It's not that you have not written before. You have been taking your notes. At this point, try to compare different kind of works, like what these people are saying and what does that really mean. One way which I, again, till date do, if you find it hard to write, sometimes it's good to audio record yourself. And when you audio record yourself and you listen back to yourself, you realize, oh, I was making sense when I was talking about it. So maybe I should just write those sentences which I was saying earlier. Because generally speaking, writing is a big thing in our head, but when it really comes down to putting the pen to the paper, it's not that big. Now at this step, once you're writing your own commentary by comparing and contrasting other people's work, don't forget to add connecting words in your work. And these connecting words could be contradicting words. For example, you can say, this person said this, however, person B does not agree with the fact. Or you can use the words like although, another word could be nevertheless, but. So do you see how you can connect your work through contradicting words? Similarly, sometimes you just want to continue the discussion or you want to present a similar fact. And to connect those kind of work, you can say words like similarly or additionally and also likewise. So you can use these words, and if you just want to continue the discussion by presenting more facts as you go along, you can say furthermore, or you can say besides, or you can say moreover. So by using all these different connecting words, you are not only connecting your own work, but also you are presenting a better commentary for yourself and for the reader. Step number 5 could be that you, of course, up until this point, it's kind of a background work where you've tried to preview the works, you have tried to lay out the structure of your document, you have also tried to add or perhaps have somewhere in your repository all these words which you can use to connect your work. But at this point, now you would start to define the concept. What is the concept that you really want to critique? What does that mean? Who else has done a work on it? Step number 6 could be that you present findings from different people in favor of this concept or against that concept. And finally, you add your own commentary to it. And by doing all these things, you're also identifying a gap because you're saying person A said this, person B said that. However, this is what you think, and where is the gap in the literature? And so when you're able to find the gap, that is your victory, because you're not only able to comment on other people's work, you're also able to make sense of that, and you're also able to present your own views by identifying what's not been done already. And this is why it's very important that this should be done. So by following these steps, I really hope that you will be able to produce a good critical essay or report or literature, but it would also help you to think critically, because trust me, critical thinking is not only important or significant in your academic work, but it's also very important in life. Well, I hope you find this video helpful. Stay tuned for my next video. Take care. Until then. Bye.